regular season match for Lionel Messi in an Inter Miami uniform. Final seconds against Nashville FC. Do we have? No. Thought we might have some last-second magic like he's produced prior. Well, let's see. It's a scoreless match. Final ticks. Don't forget, he's gotten it done in the upper 80s in the final seconds as well. Inter Miami looking to get on the board. Lionel Messi here. But they can't get one home. No goals in this as time runs out. It's a scoreless draw with Nashville FC, so you have no last-second magic. But again, no loss as well. This is what it's been with Messi aboard. Inter Miami, 10 matches. You see that goose egg in the loss column, 6-0-4. They've scored 27 times. He has 11 of those goals versus the opponents, 11 all told. What an impact he has had. Yes, it's been immense, that impact. They don't get the win, but pick up a point, extend their unbeaten streak to 10 matches in Messi's second regular season game. A team they beat in the League's Cup final, get a draw against them on Wednesday. It was a scoreless draw. Let's bring in CBS soccer analyst Jimmy Conrad. And Jimmy, Inter Miami with versus without Messi has been like night and day. They did pick up a point, still haven't lost with him on the pitch. What was your biggest takeaway, though, from this latest match?
My biggest takeaway from a Messi perspective is the fact that he looked a little tired. This is their 10th game in 41 days, so they're getting after it. I know he didn't start against the New York Red Bulls in his first ever MLS game, but he did come off the bench 30 minutes in, got a goal, and sealed 3 very important points. They're going to need as many points as possible. So them getting a draw tonight was a bit disappointing, especially at home. Now, one thing I want to add to this is that Nashville is the only team in these 10 games that they played twice.
Yep.
And they tied in the Leagues Cup final before, 3-3. So they've had that draw over 90 minutes, and then Miami went on to win in penalties because they're absolutely amazing at penalties. But what I think is interesting is when I look at the remaining 10 games in the league, they play against opponents that they've already faced in 6 of those 10 games. And I thought we saw tonight in Nashville a very methodical approach. Like, Nashville clearly did their homework, clearly had some notes on how to slow Messi down and limit his influence. And then you couple that with Messi maybe not being as sharp as he has been in previous games, and this is kind of the result that you get. It looked like a nice traditional midweek MLS game, 90 degrees in Miami, no big deal. But it wasn't enough magic tonight for them to get the full 3 points. And that gives me some concern for them if they're going to go on to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. We'll get to that playoffs in a moment. But, Jimmy, can you put into words what he's meant not only to Miami, but the entire sport in the MLS with regards to what he's done here on the pitch in the U.S.?
Well, I think first and foremost, he's made it a water cooler topic. People that don't necessarily pay attention to, maybe they pay attention to the sport, but not necessarily the league, are now paying attention. It's destination viewing anytime Messi steps on the field and represents Inter Miami. And that is evident by all the celebrities that are trying to come to these games, no matter if he's playing at home or if he's playing anywhere else. And that is a real testament to his power and obviously his magic as a player. The guy has been ridiculous for so long. You think, can he do it at age 36? And he continues to do it. He's got 11 goals so far in these 10 games. And he had some impact tonight. I just thought he didn't have that normal magic that we see. I mean, the guy's a robot, right? Or an alien, whatever you want to call him. He's not a normal human being. And maybe just lacked a little bit of it tonight. But it's going to be important for his teammates at some point to pick up the slack because he's going to miss some of these 10 games as well due to World Cup qualifiers with Argentina. So there's a lot to throw into this equation here. But ultimately, to answer your question, he has raised the level of the game. He has raised the level of the intrigue. And in some ways, he's going to make everything more competitive. I think they're going to have to change the salary cap, and that's going to benefit all the teams in the league, and that ultimately should put a better product on the field.
Well said. You just touched on it, Jimmy. They came into play Wednesday needing to make up the 11 points with 11 to play. They did have some games in hand to make that postseason. Keep in mind, they have the second best odds at winning the MLS Cup, despite being on the outside looking in. Their coach did talk about, as you just touched on, the fact that he'll miss some games down the stretch playing with the national team. So, Jimmy, are you betting against them to reach the postseason?
No, I'm not. No, I can never bet against Messi. No, I won't do it. But right now, they have 22 points with 10 games to go. And over the last 3 years, the team that finished in 9th, which is the last playoff spot, finished at 43.3 points, which means they need to get, 20 more points out of the last 10 games? So a little bit more than 2 points a game. More than doable. But Tata Martino, as you mentioned, already came out and said that he's probably going to miss 3 games. He's going to miss the Sporting Kansas City game. You can see the schedule there. He most likely will miss the Charlotte one on October 18th because Argentina plays Peru down in South America on October 17th. So there are a couple big games that he's going to miss. And then you got to throw in the U.S. Open Cup final, which is on Paramount Plus and CBS. So that's going to be awesome as well. That's also crunched in there against a very good Houston Dynamo team. And what's really crazy is that he played more minutes, in this month of August than he has in the last 3 years of any other club that he played for. I mean, he's really putting the time in. So it's going to be interesting to see how they balance his minutes for both club and country. But I don't know. I wouldn't bet against Inter Miami if they sneak into the playoffs, but they have a lot of work to do to get there.
Yeah, the fact that we're even talking about them reaching the playoffs, before he joined this team, they were far and away the worst team in the league. The impact has been extraordinary with Lionel Messi aboard. He's a CBS soccer analyst, Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy, we appreciate the insight. Let's take a look at what you can get if you keep it locked to the Golazo Network. Best soccer coverage on the planet. Check it out. It's the Golazo Network, the free 24/7 channel exclusively dedicated to offering unparalleled coverage of all the top soccer competitions worldwide. You can watch anytime on the CBS Sports app and on your favorite streaming device.